even before taking the cube out of the box, there's already a big upgrade. I don't have the other MGC4 with me, but I'm going to compare with the MGC6 box. It's a huge size difference in the box. Like the original one sort of weighs a lot of space, plus it has this extra sleeve. It basically makes an extra step in opening the box, and actually this is an MGC6. Like, I mean, I just traded it, and the cube that you see there is actually an Ultra GTS. Although this design still looks visible on the outside, it's actually just a print. It's not an extra sleeve outside the box, and you can just pull it open, access the cube much faster. As for the cube itself, it's a lot faster than what I remember the original MGC4 to be. Yeah, it also has a very light and very fast, like airy feel. The corner cutting isn't the greatest that I've seen in the 4x4. I mean, the reverse is good, but the forward is, it kind of maxes out the 1QB, which is not a big issue. What I found to be a bigger issue is actually with the inner layers when you cut 1x2. I do think that this cube feels a little bit more restrictive, and I do feel it a bit when doing OL parity. Let me just compare that with my Mei Long. And the Qi M Pro. Alright, okay, I would say the Qi M Pro is slightly worse than the Mei Long, but it's a bit better than the Speed Actuator MGC when it comes. I mean, other than that, I think the rest of the cube is okay. It's mainly the only flaw I can think of it, just by trying it out for the first 2 days. Other than that, I actually do think the speed is really nice. The inners, yeah, the inners do feel a little bit heavier and a bit more restrictive than the outers, partly due to the slightly reduced corner cutting in the 1x2 point, as well as yeah, it feels a little bit less equal between the inner and the outer, as opposed to some other cubes where actually the outer and the inner feels more similar to each other. Of course, the size is, this is 59, this is 60, and yeah, I'm usually a fan of 59 and 58. The cube has exactly the same mechanism as the original MGC4, but there are a few minor differences. Obviously, I can't really compare because I don't have the original MGC4 with me, but I do remember based on just memory alone that the original came with wide internals, whereas this one has primary internals. Then another difference is there's this extra part sticking out at the base of the corner. This is usually associated with corner magnets, but the size of the hole here looks too small to actually fit a magnet in. So if this is supposed to be upgraded to a ball claw in a future version, I do think they would probably have an extra part that has a magnet on one side and a triangular hole on the other side to fit into this hole here. But this is just speculation. One characteristic feature of the MGC, which is also true for the original as well as the Speed Actuator, is that it has a invisible high anchor design. What I mean by this is the cube actually has a triple anchor, so you can tell that the same double anchor, which is this big one here and this smaller one here, is the same with every other cube. But there's actually a third anchor higher up, and you can see the lines, the cut lines along the sides of the edge. Like this bump here, it actually follows all along. And another major difference between this and the outsuit, if you look at the double anchor of the outsuit, they are touching each other, whereas the MGC, the top anchor is actually a bit smaller and it's a little bit separated from the bottom anchor. And you can see this difference also along the side of the wing. Like, it's a bit slanted here in order to fit with the separated double anchors. So the main difference between the original MGC and the Speed Actuator version is that there is this extra washer underneath the screw. And since the cube is just so much faster than the original, I suspect that there might also be a difference in the spring, and actually comparing the springs that came inside the cube with those that came inside the accessory pack, the cube springs are noticeably shorter than those found in the accessory pack. And they also do feel a bit softer to squish. While I cannot confirm 100% because I don't have the original MGC4 with me and there's no way I can actually do a real comparison, I'm willing to believe that the springs that came in the accessory pack are the same ones found in the original MGC4, and in the Speed Actuator version they put a smaller and weaker spring inside. Plus this washer just helps to reduce the amount of space the spring can stretch, so which, without any insider info from the company, my most probable theory about how this cube works compared to the original is that the spring is weaker, which allows the cube to be faster, and the stability might be slightly compromised because of that, so they added in that washer to limit the cube's flexibility.
This video is sponsored by CubeWorks, the go-to cube store in Singapore, which is both online and physical. You can even receive coaching from the pros at CubeWorks Academy. Use discount code SHANDY for a 54.74.
Okay, so my old discount code before I changed my channel name no longer exists, and I haven't gotten a new code yet, but I will add in the description if I have. And while I'm thankful for the chance to review this cube from CubeWorks, I also have to be honest, and I'm just going to say I'm just not really a fan of the MGC 4x4 in the first place, and I also can't definitively say that the Speed Actuator version is an upgrade over the original. I certainly love the speed of Cube. It's the fastest 4x4 I know of at the moment, but that's about it. As for other aspects such as corner cutting, stability, overall performance, there are other cubes that do a better job. My main reason for not liking this cube, however, is just very heavily based on personal preference, and it's the size of the cube. Right now I just think 59 and 58mm are much more optimized to the finger tricks that I use, and 60mm is a bit out of the game, and for the same reason I'm not too keen on the VIN 4x4 either. However, if you are already using an MGC and you want an upgrade, my top recommendation is probably still the VIN. It's a similar size to the MGC, but the handling is just more stable and the cube just feels better in most ways. However, if you like the MGC and it's precisely the extra speed that you want, then the Speed Actuator version is for you.